am Matthew J. Evans. I'm an actor-director, and you're listening to Teen View.
I was thinking about her, thinking about me, thinking about us.
I'm here with also Leah.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm Victoria Justice, and you're watching.
What got you into acting and directing?
I started acting when I was around 4 years old in theater. My mom runs a community theater where we live in San Luis Obispo, California, and I really got into acting. And when I was around 9 years old, my mom and I started going down to LA, and I began acting in like TV and movies. So I think that's where I got started in acting. And in filmmaking, I guess I really got into it because of being an actor. Like when I was on the set, I would ask like different crew members, like, "Oh, what does that light do?" Or asking them everything about everything they were doing. Every piece of equipment, I'd ask like what it was for and what it does, and it was just really cool. And I think that's where I got into filmmaking, just by asking questions.
Okay, and with Bad Teacher coming out, which you are one of the lead students in, what was it like working on such a large-scale set?
It was really amazing. Like I was really excited, like to work on a set like so big, and everybody there, like every crew member, every cast member was so like supportive, even though they were running around doing what they were supposed to do. Like they always had time for like a quick chat, or if I asked them a question, like I do a lot, they'd always be like, they'd be really cool and answer my question and explain stuff to me, and it was a lot of fun working on that set.
So what's your favorite scene in the movie?
I think my favorite scene is at one point in the movie, I have kind of a poignant moment with Cameron's character, and I'm crying, and I make a big fool of myself in front of the class, and I'm saying, I'll never go back, I'll never show my face at that school again. And she says, "All right, I'll help you this one time." And she reaches under her shirt and she takes off her bra, and she says, "Here, put this in your pocket and I'll take care of it." And then she goes back to the other teachers, and she says, "Well, I caught him going to second base with a kid from another school, so I had to put a stop to that." And then everyone thinks I'm a hero, and I think that was one of my favorite scenes to film.
Awesome. And what was it like working with all the other cast members on the show, or in the movie?
It was really cool. Cameron, she's like the coolest person ever. She really is. Like, she was so supportive. Like, she really went out of her way to make sure that I was comfortable, that I wasn't nervous or anything. And she was really great to work with. Like, always encouraging me to improv. And Molly Shannon, who played my mom, was just so funny to work with. The whole cast is just amazing.
What is kind of coming up in the future for you, project-wise?
Well, I'm working on a new documentary called The Woody Duffy Story, which is about my friend Woody and his experience. He was diagnosed with a rare disease when he was 6, and at the time there wasn't a treatment and there wasn't a cure, and without the treatment, without the enzyme that his body is missing, you would normally die at age 12. And he and his mom worked tirelessly to raise funds to hire the doctors who would find the enzyme. And when Woody was 12 and getting really close to the end, they finally discovered the enzyme, and he's 24 today and lives a really inspiring life, never giving up. And so that's my next documentary. And acting-wise, just going back to auditions,
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a very interesting documentary. And what have been some other projects that you have worked on that have really, been close to your heart, I guess, or have meant something very special to you?
The documentary that I made 2 years ago was called A War Story, A Love Story, and it was about my grandparents and their time during the Korean War. And my grandparents, Lou and Jeannie Silva, had a really tough time. They had just gotten married, and my grandma was pregnant with their first child when he was sent away, and my grandpa went through some pretty tough stuff. He almost died at least 3 or 4 times, and living in foxholes in the cold, and just the struggles that he went through, and how he's living today with those memories was really interesting to learn about in the film to make. And the film I made this year is called Poetic Justice Project, and it's about a group of formerly incarcerated individuals who do theater to educate audiences about prison life, and also to break down prejudices that people have towards formerly incarcerated people. And hearing their stories, one guy was in prison for 38 years, and he's only been out for the past 2 years. It was just amazing to hear their stories and about all the work that they had to do to really change their lives. It was really interesting to work with them and learn about them.
Awesome. And if you got a chance to work with another director to help mentor you or something, who would it be?
I think if it was a director, I'd probably want to work with Robert Redford or Clint Eastwood, or Woody Allen, I think, or Steven Spielberg. There's a whole list of people, but I think those are my top 4.
Awesome. And then also, who are some actors and actresses that you would love to star in a movie with, or even have in one of your movies?
I'd love to work with Morgan Freeman or Mark Wahlberg. There's a lot of people. Harrison Ford. There's just a huge list of people that I've been really inspired by.
Awesome. Well, also, social networking-wise, do you have a Twitter or Facebook that fans can reach out to you on?
I don't have a Twitter, but I have a Facebook. You can just look up Matthew J. Evans, and I'll be there.